Daily Live Forex Market Outlook by Trader Plato. Introduction. The purpose of the market outlook is for us all to have an elite mastery of the forex market to an advanced level. The forex market is a decentralized market that runs 24/7 from Mondays to Fridays. It has a market capitalization of approximately $8 trillion daily. Dominant and non-dominant market participants. At the top and in the middle of the hierarchy, we have the dominant market participants. That is the central banks and the large financial institutions. At the bottom, we have the non-dominant market participants. Those are the retail traders. In a nutshell, the dominant market participants make up of 95% of the market participants, while the remaining 5% are the non-dominant market participants. Those are the retail traders. This is according to research and data from the Bank of International Settlement, the Bank for Central Banks. Market mechanics. Market mechanics is a unique hybrid trading strategy that utilizes technical and fundamental constants to generate accurate trading signals. Power of 3, AMD chronological order. On Fridays, we have the accumulation phase. On Mondays, we have the manipulation phase. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we have the distribution phase. Therefore, we do not trade on Fridays and Mondays, as these are the accumulation and manipulation phase of the market. Power of 3, AMD chronological order. The Asian session is the accumulation phase, the London session is the manipulation phase, and the New York session is the distribution phase. So we do not trade the Asian session, as this is the accumulation phase, but we are allowed to trade the London session since it sometimes overlaps with the New York session. Power of 3, candlestick pattern order. Unique candlestick reveal mass psychology that symbolizes the power of 3, the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Below are the images of the candlestick showcasing the mass psychology and movement of the market. We have the bullish and the bearish candlestick patterns. Liquidity and trap zones. All the market concerns about is liquidity and nothing else. Liquidity is basically points in the chart where majority of orders are pending to be filled. Thus, liquidity is the energy of the market. Without liquidity, the market will not move. These zones are as follows: yearly high and low, monthly high and low, weekly high and low, daily high and low, swing high and low. Welcome to the chart. To begin with, let us focus on this black cursor, as this will serve as the hands of our tutor while we are learning. As we are aware of, in the market mechanics, we focus on liquidity zones. Liquidity zones are zones that offer the best opportunities in price. They are zones that offer the highest risk on reward, and they are zones that offers the less risk to reward. Liquidity zones, they are daily highs and lows, weekly highs and lows, monthly highs and lows, swing highs and lows, yearly highs and lows. These zones are the zones that have the majority of pending orders there, and orders are waiting to be filled. Price drives to these zones, fills these orders, and moves to the intended direction. We should keep in mind that this is a counter trend trading style, as most of the times we are going to be going against the trend once a signal is given. Now on USD/CHF, right here in this red box, we have the Asian session. This is the first half of the Asian session, and this is the second half of the Asian session. At the first half of the Asian session, we can see buyers putting in pressure and they break the high of yesterday. And the second half, we can see a range bound consolidation within the impulsive candle that the buyers made during the first half. Following from this, we have no conclusion on this pair. On USD/JPY, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see the buyers pushing price up, breaking the high of yesterday, and the second half we can see the sellers making a move. However, this is not much of an accumulation we would like, as it is not close to the low of the day, So if we are going to have an accumulation, a manipulation and a distribution, we are going to expect the low of the day to be broken to induce more sellers to have a sell to buy. Then the buyers will push price up, break the high of today. Then we can conclude that the USD JPY is going to rally higher. Mind you, if an AMD is going to play out, we expect the low of the day to be raided, then we expect the high of the day to be broken, and these two moves must not be more than 2 candles. The advantage of the liquidity providers concept analysis is the fact that it leaves no stone unturned, and we are able to view the market from the perspective of the buyers and the sellers alike, creating a flexibility in our trading style and allowing us to be dynamic just as the market is. On AUD/JPY, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see the buyers making an impulsive move and breaking the high of yesterday. At the second half, we can see the sellers ranging bound during the Asian session. So following from this, we expect a sell to buy. However, this is not much of a good pattern since this sell candle is not near the low of the day. So for a sell to buy to occur, we expect the low of the day to be raided, liquidity to be grabbed, sellers to be induced, and the buyers to push price up, break the high of the day with 1 or 2 candles. On Euro USD, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see the sellers pushing price down, breaking the low of yesterday, and the second half you can see the sellers maintaining their dominance. However, not much of a move. Following from this, we also expect a sell to buy, and for a sell to buy to occur, we expect the low of the day to be raided and the high of the day to be raided with 1 or 2 candles, and the bulls to make a move up, break the high of the day, break the high of yesterday, and push price higher for a stronger euro against the US dollar. On GBP USD, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see the sellers pushing price down, breaking the low of yesterday, and the second half we can see an indecision candle. Following from this, we make no decision on this pair. On USD CNH, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see sellers pushing price down impulsively, and the second half we can see sellers maintaining their dominance. However, we expect a sell to buy. Keep in mind, the market buys to sell and sell to buy. Why does the market do this? The market does this because price moves in equilibrium, and there has to be an equal amount of sellers for the buyers to make money, and there has to be an equal amount of buyers for the sellers to make money. So that is the rule of the market, and it is liquidity that makes this possible. So seeing a sell candle at the closing of the Asian session, we expect the low of the day to be raided to induce more sellers, and the high of the day to be later broken with 1 or 2 candles to confirm that the US dollar is going to strengthen against the CNH. That is what we are expecting to play out for a counter trend pattern. On AUD USD, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see not much of a move, but the low of yesterday was broken, and the second half you can see an indecision candle, so we make no decision on this pair. On NZD USD, we can see a similar pattern to AUD USD, with the buyers attempting to push price up, but they fail and price is pushed down, and the second half you can see a sell candle. Following from this, we expect a sell to buy, and for a sell to buy to occur, the low of the day has to be raided to induce more sellers. Then the high of the day later has to be broken by the buyers with 1 or 2 candles. Then we can conclude that the New Zealand dollar will strengthen against the US dollar. On USD CAD, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see the buyers attempting to push price up. However, they failed to break the high of yesterday, and the second half you can see a buy candle. Following from this, we expect a buy to sell, and for a buy to sell to occur, we expect the high of the day to be raided to induce more buyers to the upside and price to push down, break this candle. Then we can conclude that price is going to push further down with 1 or 2 candles. On Euro JPY, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see an impulsive move by buyers breaking the high of yesterday, and the second half you can see the sellers switching dominance. However, they do not make much of a move as the low of the day is not broken. Following from this, we expect a sell to buy as we have the accumulation in insight. Then we can expect a manipulation in insight to induce more sellers to the downside, and a buy candle that shoots up, breaks this candle, breaks the high of the day. Then we can conclude a stronger euro against the Japanese yen. On gold, you can see a classic AMD playing out, as here we have an accumulation of buyers. This candle, we have more buyers induced to the upside, then the sellers push price down, and the second half you can see the sellers strengthening and pushing price down. So on gold, if the low of the day is broken, then we can expect more weakness on gold. On silver, at the opening of the Asian session, you can see the low of the day was broken and the buyers are trying to push price up. However, following from this, we expect a buy to sell, and for a buy to sell to occur, the high of the Asian session has to be raided to induce more buyers. Then price has to push down, break the low of this candle, break the low of the day. Then we can conclude that there will be a weakness on silver. GG, do the analysis on your own. On DXY, at the opening of the Asian session, we can see a gap here with price impulsively pushed up. However, the sellers attempt to push price down, and the second half you can see a buy candle. Following from this, we expect a buy to sell, but for a buy to sell to occur, the high of the day has to be raided to induce more buyers, and the low of the day has to be broken with a bearish candle to conclude that the DXY will sell further down. Mind you, all these moves has to be one or two candles. On BTC USD, we can see an impulsive jump up at the opening of the Asian session, and the second half you can see price continue rallying up. So we expect a buy to sell, but for a buy to sell to occur, the high of the Asian session has to be raided to induce more buyers, and there has to be a dominance by sellers pushing price down, breaking the low of the day. Then we can conclude a weakness on BTC USD. Plan your trade, trade your plan, and most importantly, manage your risk and emotions.